everyone. So my name is Melissa Stoker. I'm the operations coordinator here with our leadership team. And I'm also joined by Rachel, and she's our new coach. So if you want to say hi.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Rachel Woolbrack. I am, as Melissa mentioned, the new coach. This is week 6 for me, so it's like very exciting. My background, I come from career services, so a lot of presenting and in my case, helping college students kind of prepare for their career. So that's kind of my background and where I'm coming from, and I'm excited to kind of use it now in this new real estate setting.
Yeah, awesome. So what we're going to do is obviously today's about Docusign 101, so really just the basics. So showing you how to go from command to Docusign, how to submit the opportunity, make sure your contacts are in there, and then how to actually get everything over to your clients. So we'll start with command. I do have instructions that I can send out to everyone after the class too, so that once the class is over, you have those instructions written. I am going to be looking at them just because I'm relatively new at this too. But I want to make sure that you have this resource later. So I'll be sure to email it to everyone who's been here. This is also being recorded, so we'll put it on YouTube so that you can see it later if you want to see something again. And if you all have questions, the majority of you are on Zoom, so feel free to just come off mute and let us know what your questions are as we go through.
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, there's no shame in having a cheat sheet for
Yes.
the first few times or however many times you need. Like, I know Melissa mentioned using it, but if this is gonna help you, you know, the first time you're doing it without someone right there with you, or the second time or the third time, to the point where like this is gonna become, you know, second nature to you, and you're gonna be like, cheat sheet, what?
Yeah,
Who?
exactly. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. The place that you start is in command. So the place that you'll go is just open up a new tab, go to agent.kw.com, and then it's going to ask you to actually log in. The first thing I want us to do is to actually make sure that everyone already has their Docusign connected to their command. You might have already done this step, but just in case, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you'll click your name at the top right, and then you'll go to settings. And within settings, you should immediately see Docusign right up here at the top, and it should say connected. If it says connect account, that just means that you haven't connected it yet. You can go ahead and get that connected. If you have any questions or issues with that, you're welcome to reach out to me and I can help you with that. Scott Leroy Marketing has been helping us if there's like typos in your email address or something like that, because I know that's caused some issues for people. But just to double check that that's actually connected for you when you get started.
And that's a fairly simple process. Like,
Yeah.
Sometimes you think, oh, I have to connect it to the account. That's going to take me forever. No, it took me, I think, about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So if you haven't done it and you want to do it right now, real quick, you have time.
Yeah. And for the vast majority of people, there's no issues. It's just
Chances are
every once
most
in a
of
while.
them, yeah, already connected.
Yeah. So the other thing to know within command is that if you click this red KW at the top left, if you click that, it shows you the name of all these applets that you have. So this is really helpful if you don't remember, for example, that this icon means contacts. You can click that box and it'll show it to you. So we're going to go ahead and start by actually adding a contact. So if you've actually started if you've been working with your leads and everything already, they should technically already be in your contacts, but if they're not, that's okay. You can add them at any time. So what you'll do is at the top right here, you'll click add contact. And I'm going to use Harry Potter because it's like Halloween and it's time to think about Harry Potter in my opinion. So you'll add their full name, you'll add their email, and then you'll add their phone number as well. So I'm just going to put in some random phone number, but the more information you put in here, the better, just so that you have as much information as you can. If you had a specific lead source, that's really helpful for you to start actually tracking how you got to know these people. So for example, let's say we met Harry Potter at an open house. You can easily add that as your lead source. And then the tags are also helpful for tracking as well. So for example, if you wanted to add a tag of where he came from, for example, or if you know that he's a buyer, you can add that as a tag. So whatever you want to add for your tags there, you can do that. Then we're going to go ahead and click create. So at a minimum when you're doing this, you want to at least add the phone number and the email address. If you want to add extra things, those are optional, but those two pieces you should definitely put in there. Okay, so from there, what we're going to do is then go to your opportunities applet. So again, we click this red KW at the top left so you can see what all the titles are, and go ahead and click opportunities. And this is where we're actually starting to create the opportunity that will eventually connect to Docusign. So at the top right, we'll click Create Opportunity. And the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're at the right market center. If you transferred or something like that, you might have a different one here. So just make sure that it is Towson Pikesville. If you're on a team, make sure that that's selected. But if you're individual, obviously, then that's going to be individual. And you have to put in your opportunity type. This is important because it can't be changed later. So some of this other information could be changed, but this piece has to be correct because you'd actually have to delete it and start over if it was the wrong thing. So we're going to say that Harry Potter is a buyer. And the owner should be you or your team. And let's see. And then from there, you'll want to think of any custom tags. If you have any, you can put them there. You don't have to. We do recommend putting in the estimated close date. You can change this at any time, but just helps you kind of organizing and getting everything there. But go ahead and select an estimated close date. You'll put in your commission rate. This is your specific commission rate, not the full one. So if it's 2.5, you can put that in there. And
That
then,
is something,
go ahead.
sorry.
No,
That is
go
something
for
that can change. So in this case, if you're
Yeah.
working with a buyer and you don't know what the commission rate is that is gonna be on MLS, average, is typically about 2.5, best practice. So you can put that in there. You can always change that. If you end up going into MLS and someone's offering 3, great, you can change it.
So one more thing that I actually forgot to mention is if you scroll back up, you do obviously want to put the client in. This is where you'll actually type in the person that you just created in your contacts, which I'm not seeing him. Let me see.
I think it comes up once the full name is in.
Okay.
So try typing in the full name.
Well, it helps if I spell it right. No.
You did just create him.
Yeah.
Right, that's weird.
Um,
You're not in Honest, are you?
No, I'm in mine.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Because you did, or normally Harry Potter would show up here because she just added Harry Potter. This is
Right.
weird.
Is it because, oh, I'm sorry. It's because I'm in coaching team and I need to be in my own. That's my mistake. So that could be something that you would notice as well if you are a part of a team. That's why.
Okay.
So along the top here, you see the MC coaching team, and you also see my name. That's why we couldn't find Harry Potter. Sorry about that, everyone. But that's good. That's troubleshooting and seeing what the issue might be. So we'll actually go back in and create the opportunity. The opportunity type, it's a buyer. The client here, Harry Potter, should show up. Yes. Yes, there he is. Okay, good. And then any custom tags, estimated close date, like we said, that's something that you want to try to get in there. The commission rate, for example, is 2.5, and then you want to make sure that you have your opportunity phases and stages correct as well.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Just to come back to the point, like any of these things except the, what is it, the description, was that the one that, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Can you scroll for a second?
Yes. This.
It's the opportunity type. So anything except that opportunity type can be changed. Like if you're working with Harry Potter and he's a buyer and then you realize, just kidding, he's not going to buy, he's going to actually list his current home, then you need to create a new opportunity. But in this case, anything else you can change. And like Melissa has here, she put in an address. Let's assume you've worked with Harry Potter enough that you now know where he wants to purchase, and he wants to purchase 4 Privet Drive from his aunt, I guess. Then you put this in. Chances are, if it's with a buyer, you don't know the address yet. But if this were a listing, you would definitely want to have that address in there because everything with commissions and with opportunities and when they come to the market center goes by the address. So if they're a buyer, you may not have that right away. You can always change that later. But if they're a listing, you're definitely going to want to put that address in there.
And if you are able to put that address in there, it does make it
Yep.
faster to get paid as well, because that's what Crystal and the finance department uses to basically identify these opportunities. Okay, so we've entered all that information. We'll go ahead and click create. All right, and then from here, we'll actually, normally what would happen is you would automatically get your room in Docusign. I actually have to switch over to Alana's because I don't have a license, so I don't have access to the GBBR documents that you do. But once you get into Docusign, it should automatically open you up in this rooms piece of your Docusign. Or actually, I'm sorry. I skipped a step, my bad.
Yeah, go for
Yeah,
documents.
okay, so you're still actually in command, I'm sorry, everyone. From here, what you're actually gonna do is along this tab, you're gonna click documents. And this shows you a checklist of items that you would need. So these are not actual documents here, but these are the checklists that you can follow to make sure that you have what you need when you're actually creating the forms that you're going to be selling to your client. Yes, so from here, we're actually gonna click start a transaction. This is when it will actually take you to Docusign into that new room. So I'm sorry, everyone, I did skip that stuff. But yes, start a transaction. I'm gonna go ahead and immediately switch over to Alana's room. And we're just gonna go ahead, Harry Potter's not already in here, so we're just gonna switch over to Rachel, just so
That's fine.
you get it as an example of what it's gonna look like. So it should automatically open you up into a room that looks like this. So from here, I should say if you find that it's not automatically opening you up into your room, it might be that you just have to log into Docusign first, or that your Docusign is not connected to your command like we talked about earlier. So just make sure that you do log in. But from this piece, this is where you can see your room here. So in here, you'll have your details tab. This is where you want to add information about the client. The more information you put here, the more will auto-populate into your forms that you're filling out for your client. And this is where you also add pre-tagged roles, and that's crucial for auto-population later. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit so that I can show you kind of what that looks like in terms of actually adding that information. So for example, maybe we're going to change this to 4 Privet Drive, because that's the place that she's going. You can add that information. We wanted to add the email in there. Her name is here. So you have the ability to add as much information as you can to kind of help create those auto populations. Anything you want to add there? Good.
No, you just moved my name over into the MLS ID.
Oh,
See it like, it like copied it somehow, and moved it, but you just hit cancel if you want. There we go. I don't know how it happened. It's kind of weird. It's like,
okay. Okay. So from this section of your room, you're going to actually go over to documents, this tab along the center here. And then within here, this is where we're going to start adding in our documents for our client. So what you do is from this room, you'll actually click add, which is the top right here. And then you're going to want to bring them in from Docusign forms. So in order to have access to these forms, you do have to have GBBR connected to your Docusign. You have to have set that as your association. I do have instructions for that as well that I'll send you all after that in case you don't already have that set up, but you should have it set up already. But just like I said, if you have questions about that, we can definitely help you with that too. Within this section, you see two sections. You have the groups and the libraries. The library is where the standard documents that are provided by GBBR and NAR are located. The groups are the ones that we have actually organized for you to make things a little bit easier for you. So those are the ones that the Market Center has organized for you. So let's say you want your commonly used county forms. You can actually just click that and it'll show you the ones that are available over here. And you can just click and choose the ones that you're going to need. I'm just randomly clicking ones to show you how that would work. And then you can click add selected. And then from in here, you'll see all of the different forms that you've added for this person. And you'll just click the ones that you actually do need by clicking these check boxes. And once you click those, you'll notice that there is a tab that shows up at the top here that wasn't there before you clicked them. So that shows up right here, and you'll see this pen that says create an envelope. So you can go ahead and click that, and it's going to put all those forms into an actual envelope that you will set up for your person to sign. And sometimes it takes a little while just to bring it all in there for you. So once you get into this piece, you can obviously move things around. If you want a certain order for these, you can just click and drag them. And then what you want to do is add your recipients to the envelope. So this is where those pre-tagged roles came in that are really helpful that you set up. So you can actually go in and, for example, buyer one, we can say that that is, you'll go through here and find the person. So it's Rachel's here. So you can click those. And it just helps by filling it in automatically to the sections that correspond to the forms that you're using. So you don't have to create that every time you're using the form. So click add selected. Then from here, you'll obviously want to write a little message. We recommend making it a little bit more personable instead of just sending it out as like, sign this form. Like maybe you want to say, hey, here's the forms that you need, and then obviously say whatever you want in the instructions there. But make that a little bit more personable, just so that they feel like they're not just getting an automated thing. From there, you'll click next. And this is actually going to show you there the preview. Yes. So you can look through everything here, make sure everything looks correct. You know, for example, you can see that it did auto-populate the buyer, Rachel, so you didn't have to do that. It has auto-populated the address for you. So it just helps make sure that you don't have to put everything in, but you do want to read through everything, make sure it looks right, make sure that the initials and things like that are in the correct place. And then what you can do from there is just go ahead and click send. And I'll just send it, it goes to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll show you what it looks like, going ahead and click send.
It would not be the first time I had sent myself fake contracts.
Right, exactly.
I've been playing around in here to learn this, just like some of you are doing. You know, as I mentioned, you know, big new to the office. I am learning Docusign. If you are familiar with using .loop, you might still be learning Docusign. Alana has said it. I would completely agree with her. Getting in here and playing around and making some fake opportunities and bringing them into Docusign, and then like setting yourself up, or Melissa and I also have fake contacts that are our cats.
Yes.
Like whoever it is that needs to purchase or sell a property, like have those fake things. Like, use a couple of your different emails, like if you have a personal one and a KW one, using both of those to kind of like send them to yourself and see how it works. I'm still practicing. It's just helping me feel more comfortable with the system. So I would highly recommend that if you're not doing that already.
Yeah, and so you've already sent it. We do recommend going ahead and giving them a call, just let them know that they've received it, that they should have it in their email if they have any questions to reach out to you. But that's basically how you do it from there. So I did see in the chat someone asked about how to add their association to Docusign. So I will actually go ahead and show you all that too. So the way that you would do that is you're clicking your picture at the top right. And from there, you're going to click preferences. And like I said, I'm going to send you all these instructions as well, so including the adding the association for you too. So from here, you're going to
Integration.
yeah, I was wondering where is
On the left.
You see it? Oh, right,
Integration's
yes.
the bottom.
So integrations on the left here. Then you'll click your add provider, which it might be that this one is already set up too for it. Yeah, because it's Alana's.
I think it might also let you do it as you're adding the documents. There might be a button to add specific documents and pick. Yes, there is, because that's how I've played around with it.
Mhm.
Actually, if you want, go into command, we can show it from yours because
Okay.
yours isn't connected. So
Right. True.
if we, and then you do go to transaction, it'll take us into your Docusign.
Right.
Should.
No, it went
Oh,
automatically.
probably because they're the ones
Let
signing.
me log out of Alana's and then I'll show you what it looks like from mine.
But yeah, you can even do it like as you're adding documents, if you realize that you're not logged in and connected with GBBR, it's easy to do it in that moment, which is nice.
Right. Okay. So again, clicking your name at the top right, clicking preferences. Then integrations on the left. And okay, so here it is. So it's because Alana's already had it. So if you click add provider right under DocuSign form settings, then from here, you're going to select realtor. You would put your NRDS number in here. I don't have one, so I can't. But if you don't know yours, you can look it up. And there's a link that we can give you as well for that. And then you just select your proper association, which would be GBBR. And then you'd be able to click validate and get it attached to your DocuSign. I just can't because I don't have an NRDS number. But that's how you would do it. And like I said, I'll definitely send you the instructions for that too. So that was everything for the DocuSign case. Does anybody have any questions or things that they wanted to go over There is a Docusign 2.0 class that's more advanced, so if you had questions beyond these pieces, we will have that, and I believe it's the first week of November. But of course, you can also set up a meeting with Alana if you want to go through that as well, if you'd like to meet about it sooner. But that's kind of the basics of Docusign so that you know how to use it from there. So, any questions? And if not, that's totally fine. I will go ahead and I see who came today, so I'll make sure to send you all those instructions that I mentioned as well. Like I said, this was also recorded, so we'll get that on YouTube for you too.